Hello, another 2-in-1 video incoming, cause today will be a quickie. Forget foreplay, just get into it. Last night was a bit rough because the plague is among us. My daughter started throwing up around midnight, and from that till something like 5 in the morning. So yay. Me and my wife are not sick yet, what comes to that stomach bug. But the problem is that I have scheduled appointments tomorrow and day after that. And I kinda don't have... I can't afford to miss those, because those are kinda important what comes to me getting something like a long-term or steadier job. So obviously you cannot, well, what happens tomorrow I can't reschedule. That ain't gonna happen. But the thing that's happening day after tomorrow, that I can reschedule, but I don't want to. I know if I get sick, yay, here we go again. Although that would be just kind of the cherry on top of the cake, because I already have a broken tooth down here, and it was causing me a bit trouble. Right before Christmas I got a inflammatory painkillers for that, because it was all swollen and other nice stuffs. No antibiotics, but I still went to the dentist and they did what they could, and it was fine until yesterday when it started kind of hurting again, and now it's this kind of constant aching. It's waving. It's kind of wave kind of pain, and I can go to the dentist day after tomorrow earliest. I don't have the time to go there tomorrow, because otherwise I would miss that appointment, and I can't get sick because I also don't want to miss that appointment tomorrow. So being between a rock and a hard place, really. Next day, 6:30 p.m. and not done with the sickness, so fingers crossed. So one appointment done, and that second appointment rescheduled for day after tomorrow, because I really need to go to the dentist tomorrow. It's fun that cold doesn't hurt, hot doesn't hurt, but even the slightest amount of pressure on the lower back tooth here is like shoving an ice pick to my jaw. And I really hope they do find what the problem is, because I had the same thing a few days before Christmas, and then they did what they could, but now it's back, so yay. And I hate going to the dentist. I really do. Not because it hurts or whatever, but because my jaw is relatively small, my lower jaw. So they really have to crank when they need some room to operate. So it's like... So the girlies seems to be okay. Me and wifey okay. And for some reason I've been listening Celtic tavern music since yesterday. Don't ask why. Don't ask why. And then I'm thinking about recording a podcast episode today in Finnish, because that's something I've been planning to do for a while now, since that podcast is my only kind of a Finnish outlet, because I see no reason to make videos in Finnish for the reasons I'm going to talk about in that podcast. But if you can't understand Finnish, it's just because I can't relate to that scene, so I see no reason to be part of it. That's a short explanation. And Eurovision Song Contest, Finnish contender, or contendant, whatever is the right word, was announced today. Well, previously we have had Lordi, and they won in 2006, I think it was. 2007 we sent in Teräsbetoni. Good band, wrong song. Definitely wrong song. And who are we going to send in this year? Darude. Think about it. Mr. Sandstorm. So I thought that Eurovision Song Contest is a singing contest. It will be an interesting performance, let's say. Let's say it that way. But obviously, let's face it, Eurovision Song Contest hasn't been a singing contest for years. It's much more about who has this song that's kind of it's upbeat, going. That's one thing, but the biggest part is who gets the media. If you think about, I don't remember that one person who was dressed as a woman with a beard and singing. I think that person was from Israel, I think. And if you look at the last year's winner, it wasn't about the song, it was about who can grab the media's attention. And that's how it's been for years now. And also one part that I do not agree is that in Finland people can't vote who will be our person for that, or our group for that contest. Somebody else, or there's this jury somewhere who decides. So you can't send in a song, you can't participate as a kind of a like freelancer or an artist wants to participate. It's invitational. So why? Because it seems that people who are in the Finnish music business, who are trying to push Finnish music out to the world, don't have any idea what kind of taste people have in other countries. It's like, why are you sending this? Well, I think last year it was Sara Aalto. Well, she can sing, yes. But was the song the one? No, it wasn't. It wasn't. Good performance, but and when Lordi won, it was hilarious in the sense that, well, obviously that contest was in Greece, and if you have seen pictures of Lordi as a band and you add this Greece mythology into it, I think they got the Minotaur. Yay! But and in my opinion that kind of ruined their career. I mean, the first album was great. I remember when it first came out, I bought it immediately just because of the single. I mean, Would You Love a Monster Man? And I listened to that album a lot during the next, I don't know, maybe 6 months. But after that, those records they've put out after that, good quality songs, but no hits. So it's kind of a cruel thing that your biggest hit is on the first album, and the albums you release after that, well, those are good songs, those are good albums, but hits are missing. Well, you can say that Hard Rock Hallelujah was a hit, but their biggest hit in Finland, obviously Hard Rock Hallelujah is their biggest international hit. But I don't understand. And well, if you look at it, there are two genres of music that are coming from Finland that are kind of a world class music: metal and electronic music. Those are the two genres that Finns are good at. Well, if we can also add funeral doom, but funeral doom especially, that's a whole nother animal. It's not metal. It's something that you would hear in a church if they would allow electric instruments. It's a bit after 11. I should be already editing and uploading this vlog, but I got stuck with an old friend, with another old friend. This is Dexter. I don't know if you can see it, but there it is, Dexa. And this is Yamaha DX7 emulator. All those classic sounds. And says, well, being born in the late 70s and being an 80s kid, these sounds are so familiar. I mean, during the 80s, you just couldn't avoid them. And I had a problem that I wanted a certain sound. I was looking for certain sound and how to get it. What is this sound that I'm hearing? And it was the tubular bells from DX7. Actually, it's a custom patch, but still, it was those bells I was hearing. And this is kind of nice to have. Although I would like to get a bigger one. This is M Audio Oxygen 25. Oxygen 25. I would have liked to have or get a bigger keyboard when I bought this a few months ago. But as you can see, this desk is pretty full. So I can't have a full-length keyboard. Although 49 keys would have been nice to get that octave or two more, but I'll go with this. And especially when I'm playing basically one part at a time, because most of the time I'm using this keyboard to build string parts and all that, and those I'll do on separate tracks anyway. Violas, cellos, all that stuff to separate tracks, so it's easier to balance in the mixing phase or mixing stage. So this works just fine for me right now. Well, obviously if I want to play piano, then things get bit more difficult, because you can play some piano parts, I mean two-handed piano parts with this, but if you want to do anything kind of bigger, you have to play each hand separately, and that feels kind of weird when you're used to playing with two hands. But well, it's doable. So once again, don't want more gear. Use what you have the best you can. But anyways, I'll probably be doing this quite a lot more today. And if you're wondering, the program I'm using is Reaper, or the DAW is Reaper. I also have Cubase, Cubase, Ableton Live, and Pro Tools. I have all of them. Although light versions of Pro Tools free, Ableton Live, I think it's Lite, and Cubase Lite. And I've got those other programs out of the DAWs with the hardware I bought. I got a with the M Audio. I got was it Cubase or Ableton Live? I don't remember. Ableton Live, possibly. When I bought this Scarlett Solo that I have, I got Pro Tools, and when I bought that Zoom, I got Cubase. So that's one tip for you. When people are wondering what software to buy, what DAW to buy, you don't necessarily need to buy anything, because obviously you can always use, well, Reaper when you're starting. A lot of people are saying that it's a free DAW, but it's not. It's just, you can just evaluate, you can test it infinitely. There is no kind of end time, but it's not free. But if you buy a piece of hardware, what comes to recording, most likely nowadays you'll get a software with it, and that will last you a long time. Most people want, or some people want, these big feature-rich DAWs, and all that, even when they don't even know how to use them, and they have to buy plugins, all kinds of effects, because this and this is using that and that. Learn how to use stock plugins first. Then you know what you want. You don't want to buy a whole lot of stuff and invest money to something that you don't really know how to use yet. And this applies to beginners. Beginners and more advanced people know what they want. Or more advanced sound producers and mixers know what they want. But if you are a beginner and you're thinking about buying a, for example, an audio interface, well, it comes nowadays. It comes with a DAW. Learn how to use that first. And when you have learned how to use that, then you have a whole lot brighter idea what you want, what you need. But anyways, this is cut, and then I still have the podcast to do today maybe. But anyways, see ya.